to This Week in Gwent, as you see in a new setup, in a different setup, and we were supposed to have a different guest, but we have KingDenpai today instead of Vlad, filling in last moment. Thank you very much for doing this. Pleasure to have you, man.
Hey, thank you very much for having me, dude. I can't say enough good things about, this whole process that happened in literally, I think, what, 2 hours.
Yes.
So, I mean, this is what they call rolling with the punches, and man, I'm happy the punch landed on me here, you know?
Yep.
This
Yep.
is this is great, and I'm super excited. Uh, Man, just rolling off the cuff. Let's do our best, yeah?
Yeah, that's totally the plan. Yeah, so how are you feeling overall, Mr. Meme Master?
Oh, goodness. I mean, today I was playing League of Legends in my boxers 2 hours ago, and now I had to do my hair and dress up all nicely,
You
and
overdressed. Like, look at me.
I am a
I
little
look.
bit overdressed, my friend. I am. I saw you and I just went, oh my goodness, what am I doing here, man? Uh, uh, but I mean, you're showing me up anyway with that nice new haircut you've got. We haven't seen each other in a while, and
Yeah,
we were already
yeah.
talking about how you got a really nice haircut. I think it was about 30 minutes ago. It was really quick to do it like that.
No, I just probably put the headphones on differently, and that's the whole shebang. Like, there was no other magic or anything else added to that.
I'm gonna credit it to the backdrop. That's that backdrop is very
Yeah,
very nice.
actually, in the
Is it?
office, yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it just a random room in your offices or?
it's actually a room that we kind of, it used to be a conference room, and we converted
Yeah,
it later on to a streaming room. So we set up a PC, two monitors, lighting, camera, microphone, just to have like this space that if we need to go live and we need to do it from the office, or if we're doing any type of charity streaming that we do at CDPR, just to have
yeah.
the space in order to utilize this for those causes. Yeah.
That's super super cool. Well, I was wondering if you had like a dedicated room and everything like that, because when I worked at a games company, we kind of had our own little room for it in the same variety. So
Yeah.
it's nice to know that that's sort of a commonplace thing.
Yeah, I think it's a must have in this day and age, and that's like this is the one room, and then we have like proper recording rooms. There's like
Is
one
that
that
like
is,
the tournaments and stuff like
yes,
that,
the
like that
one for the
area?
tournaments. We have the Gwent Tavern, and the other one is we have a cyberpunk themed like hands-on area where we used to have journalists come in to play the game, but we now converted into like a recording studio because it looks like a bar taken straight from Cyberpunk 2077. So it's
Oh,
yeah. So it's
so I
pretty.
can go in and get the David Martinez and everything, can
Yeah,
I?
yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly,
Oh,
exactly. I
that's
see.
sick,
I
man.
see you've been watching the show.
Oh my goodness, man. Binged it. Just
Yeah.
absolute perfection. I'm something of a weeb masterclass
Mm-hmm.
myself, and I hesitate to use the word masterpiece too often, but it was just 10 out of 10. Loved it to
Nice,
bits.
nice. I had the same thing. I had to watch it twice at least, like the whole thing, and also like a binge watch.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had so much fun watching the show, and not really knowing a lot about it before. Like, I knew snippets of its production and kind of what was going on in terms of like the
What
story
was
and
what was sort of
everything.
feeding through on that? Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm mainly focused on everything Gwent related, so that's
Yeah.
my like number one thing. So I wasn't really into all the cyberpunk stuff that we're doing, but then when I got into that and kind of saw what they kind of prepared, and the whole show, like, I'm not a big anime person. The
Yeah.
only anime that I watch mainly is Dragon Ball, because I love Dragon Ball since I was a kid, so it's like my
Okay, wait,
go-to.
Vegeta or Goku though?
Vegeta, always.
My man, that's it right there. Let's go. That's it.
Come
Man
on.
of class right there. Prince of
Yeah,
all Saiyans.
yeah. Principal Science. Plus, I like that he's proud. Like, he's proud, maybe sometimes too
Yeah.
proud. But I mean, it's
We
Vegeta.
all got that side in us, don't
Yeah,
we?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree totally. Nice,
That's
nice.
that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
When are we getting the Uma anime? When's the Uma based anime? I want that,
To
dude.
be honest, I don't know how well Witcher would translate into like anime. Like, there was
The Vesemir thing,
the
right?
Vesemir thing. I liked it personally. I
Yeah.
know not everybody liked it um, because they thought that it doesn't really fit into like the Witcher setting, but I feel like it worked to some extent. Like it was a different version. He was a little bit more, let's say, badass. He was a little bit more, everything. The fighting scenes were over the place. Like using
Yeah.
Igni to defrost like a whole lake or something like that was a
That
little
was
bit
kind of the thing,
over
because
the
in anime
top.
they bring it up, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they go wild, and
But
people
I
are like, I
like
can't do
that.
that.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
I like it too. You get that over exemplification with anime, but
Yeah.
then yeah, you get sort of like purists who are like, "Oh come on, man! I was playing The Witcher 3. Geralt can't do that. Why is Vesemir in his 20s able to do a Kamehameha all of a sudden? What's going on here, man?" You know. But I thought it was nice too. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I do remember thinking, oh, that was the animation was nice. I
Yeah.
liked some of the tone. It was good. No, but I would definitely like to see more Witcher anime.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Fully
I'd say.
fully agreed. Before we get into you and everything haha.
No, please don't.
I
Please go on to you, man. I want to know more about you.
So we'll have a nice discussion, but I kind of want to recap what happened this week. There wasn't a lot, but we had during last weekend for the play-in tournament the group phase, and that ended. And we had Trusky and Cams get out of groups A and B, so they are already going to World Masters. And then on the 29th, we should be having the elimination stage where the names that you see here by ESC that were highlighted in blue are going to that elimination stage. So from these 6 names, we will have 3 more players going into World Masters, which is happening in December, and it's going to be the first weekend of December specifically, and that's going to be World Masters for you. So super excited for that, super excited for this play-in format, as it is something different, especially that this first one, this elimination stage, was in the round robin format, which is something that we normally don't do because we normally do single elimination format. So really cool to see that, and congrats to Trusky and Cams once again, because they nailed it. Apart from that, we're once again doing the Prime Gaming loot stuff, so you can claim your Ultimate Premium Keg this month with Prime Gaming. So don't sleep on that. Also, shout out to a lot of people who, like Flake, for example, gave out their codes on Twitter for people who wanted to redeem them, because he didn't need the ultimate keg. But yeah, there are some people in our community that might need that keg to get some cool stuff and get some cool cards. So shout out to people like sharing these throughout the community. And that's the Prime Gaming thing. And also we have House of Lebioda's birthday tournament, which is the Holy Tournament. It will take place on November 12th. And there will be some stuff from us, from Million Pugs, in terms of like kegs, powder, ship leader skin, and more stuff. So check them out. Most likely we will have someone from their team jump in on Twig with me one day. So yeah, really, really excited about that. So yeah, that's the news.
I couldn't say anything on the pro side. I can barely put my cards in the right row, but hey, that sounds pretty exciting.
How did you get into Gwent? That's my first question. Let's
This is
start.
the funny thing. This is the funny thing, because my chat was talking about a pasta where it's like, well, I played The Witcher 3, and the card game. I never played Witcher 3 before I played Gwent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was poor boy gaming when I was younger, and I saw it was free on PlayStation at the time, and I was like, I got nothing to do. I want to try a new game, so I went for it. I downloaded it, and I no-lifed Skellige for just for ages there. Back in 2018, I was just jamming it for a while. It was sort of my go-to couch play game, and I literally had never touched anything Witcher before that. It was my first exposure to it all.
Nice.
It was I fell in love with it, and then you guys said goodbye, console peasants, and then I went PC. I started streaming, and I went on my Witcher journey. I played all the games on stream, and learned
Nice.
more about the universe, and just fell in love with it even more. So that's sort of
amazing.
how I started.
So that was your arc, and yeah, it wasn't goodbye console peasants. Just the process for keeping a multiplayer online game and doing updates and certification on consoles is just
Yeah.
well, it's super difficult, and it's super like hard to do quick and reactive stuff on it. So yeah, that's why we had to kind of
When
move on to PC and
yeah,
mobiles.
I worked at a company called P-Cube for 2 years that
Mm-hmm.
do a lot of like Japanese games. And when they had to do updates for the console side of things, they had to wait on specific dates and all sorts of things. And I could swear I could see some of the guys in the office just tearing their hair out half the time.
Yeah.
So I super get that. It's probably a lot smoother of a process to just go PC and mobile.
It is. It is. I totally agree, and it's much easier to yeah, submit new builds and submit new patches and just do everything much quicker. So yeah, that's nice. So you had a chance to later check out Witcher 3. So Witcher 1 also and Witcher 2. Did you go through like all of them?
Yes, I actually went through them in order. And you're gonna find this kind of a funny take, actually. I played through all of the Witcher games, and you might find it surprising. Of the three, Witcher One is actually my favorite.
Same.
Um, oh, good man, goodness.
Witcher 1
That,
is like we kind of I was recently talking to one of my colleagues who maybe didn't play as many Witcher games before he like joined the company. Now he's kind of playing catch up. I told him like you need to really play Witcher 1. I know it might be old. I know it might be like not maybe stood the test of time in terms of gameplay, but in terms of like story, I feel like it's still all
yeah.
there. Like it's a very nice story in itself as it is. So someone should totally check it out and play it. And
What's your favorite element of the story itself? Like, can you pick point anything like from the other games that Witcher One stands out to you?
for me, it was less. It was more Slavic and it was less mainstream.
Yeah.
It was less going out to because I kind of feel like with Witcher 3 we're catering to a wider audience. We're kind of going to people who maybe do not really understand this you know kind of core Slavic theme that is within the Witcher universe. And
Yeah.
they kind of get it now. Like in Witcher 3, it's there, but I feel it's more global, less Slavic. And here is very like Slavic. There, plus I feel like there are some things that we kind of did at that time, which were maybe we would not do like now in terms of like quests and kind of storytelling. It's a
Oh,
little
like my
more
favorite element, the
grittier
sex
and
cards, right?
yeah.
That's the best part of the game.
That's one thing also. It's a
The
little
clerks,
bit
man, the clerk.
yeah. It's a little bit more tuned in terms of also like telling things as is without maybe adding a little bit of like sugar coating on them, right? So that's what I like
Yeah.
about it, because I
No,
like
I
stories which are just like plain bloody, gory, dirty. Like don't be afraid to like talk about all these things, right?
that's what I liked about it. In the similar sense, for me, it was the experience was sort of it was better exemplified because I had a lot of people. I streamed the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a lot of viewers. Obviously, Gwent and the Polish carryover and the Witcher carryover. I had people who were basically like the Witcher lore masters, Smith of Lies, the Eviction Notice. These dudes who are coming out here and they're referencing things in like one mission, and they tie it back to 5 other things in the book. And I literally, man, it made that experience so much better.
Yeah.
And the tone of it is already great. Everything about it was awesome. I loved it so much. But it was that whole experience where like people were able to give me these references and this knowledge about the Scoia'tael, etc. And it all kind of came full circle after falling in love with Witcher 1, doing everything via Witcher 1, and then with Witcher 3. Do you remember the library moment
Mm-hmm.
with the book and
Yeah.
everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally like I had chills.
Yes.
I
It's one
was
of
I was
those. Yeah.
so yeah. That got me. I really fell in love with it for that. Just it felt like a complete journey,
Yeah.
really. So
Yeah.
yeah, Witcher 1 is just mwah, love it.
Agreed. For me, it's one of those things that will be always for me like a masterpiece. And Also, I was kind of telling my friend to play it because I think soon this month we'll have 15 years since the launch of Witcher One. So it's been quite some time since that game came out, but I feel like it still holds its ground when it comes to the story itself. Gameplay wise, it's interesting. It's not everybody's favorite thing, maybe, but I
Mm.
would say it's quite cool.
You can easily push past that barrier. I feel like a lot of people they don't want to take that step because they're just so used to modern games and everything. I think the
Yeah,
younger you get, it's kind of harder for them. But for me, I was able to push past, and I really just fell in love with every little detail. So
yeah,
also, Eridan's look in Witcher One is just just something to behold.
yeah, yeah. Creepy, but cool.
It's I love the little avatar in the Gwent form.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's
We had to
perfect.
play homage to it, and I remember when I was playing Witcher One when I was 19. I remember like staying up till like 3 to 4 a.m. Just to play the game. I remember that was my first like built PC. Like my dad built me a PC.
Oh yeah.
He had like a IT friend that worked with him, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll help you like set up something." And I remember it was like, yeah, it was my first proper like built from the ground up PC, and I love that thing to bits, and I played my first games on it. So maybe it wasn't
Ah,
our like first PC in the family, but it was like the first one that I had in my room. I could only play on it, and yeah, it was freaking
and
amazing.
you had a bit of help from your old man in that respect, and it had a little bit more meaning on that
Yeah,
front, right?
yeah, he
Yeah.
introduced me into a lot of games. Like, even before that, like we played Baldur's Gate, like we played
Oh yeah.
StarCraft, Warcraft, all that stuff. So it was
Ah,
really nice to get into gaming. And he always liked fantasy and sci-fi, so he kind of got me into these things. And same
what's sort of
with
his favorites?
well, he got me very quickly into like all the Tolkien stuff.
Oh
That
yeah.
was like a must. He really loves Dune. I really like Frank Herbert's Dune, so I caught up on that very 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 quickly. There's Solaris or Solaris. I think that's kind of like
Yeah.
a Polish
You mean
sci-fi.
is it? I think it's Paradox, right? The or no, I'm thinking Stellaris.
No, no, no. You're thinking Stellaris. I think
Yeah.
it's Solaris as the book, if I remember correctly, which is yeah, it's a novel by Stanisław Lem. So that's it's kind of like a old school sci-fi
I'm never gonna try that name. Just an
Polish.
FYI. I mean, I'm still, I can't even do, what is it, Gregor Berkovic or whatever it is. You know that one?
Grzegorz
Literally.
Pięciszczykiewicz. Yeah.
I can't do that, dude. Like that is Elvish tongue you just spoke, bro. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
I love that clip. One of my favorites. But no,
yeah,
that's really cool.
yeah. So
About
he
because
got me
I
into
was
all
raised by
this.
my dad.
Hmm.
I was raised by my dad because my mom, when I was younger, gone,
Hmm.
etc. That sort of stuff. And my
Hmm.
dad just like everything. As I was growing up, built PCs together, played games together. Like I really resonate with that. So that's really cool to hear that that's sort of
Yeah.
how that PC story. That's got to mean a lot to you there. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
I'm also very happy that, my parents were supportive of gaming because I know it's not something that,
Yeah.
is kind of happening. And we kind of always saw like whatever new technologies, consoles, games and stuff like that for like entertainment purposes were kind of good because they were introducing you to different worlds, they were introducing you to different things. Like of course there was room for studying, there was room for books, there was room for going to school and not forgetting about all these important things, but there was also room for experiencing let's say culture and media through different outlets instead of just focusing on watching TV, reading books. So
It was
yeah,
it was the thing that you sort of came to when all the normality was done and finished with. It
yeah,
was sort of that sort of like you just had a geeky confidant with all
yeah,
that stuff,
yeah,
which was
yeah,
really cool to
yeah.
hear.
It was really
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it got me on my journey. And yeah, Witcher One, like Witcher was always something that was big here, so we very quickly got into the whole Witcher train and pretty much stuck to it. And I'm still like super grateful to be able to work here in CDPR and actually get to experience like the stuff that we're working on and get to see things behind the scenes. I think when I joined the company 7 years ago, when I got to kind of see it for the first time from the other side was very like eye opening and kind of getting to
Yeah, I
see
know. I
how
literally
things are
actually know
made.
exactly what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
That's the
because you
funny
also
thing.
worked in game dev, right? So you know like what it
Well,
is.
I wasn't a game dev, but
Mm-hmm.
I did. I got hired by a company called P-Cube a
Mm-hmm.
couple of years ago. They do a lot of licensing for Japanese games,
Mm-hmm.
things like Steins Gate, things that I have a lot of funny stories to tell about some of those things because they're Japanese, man. Some of the things I had to do. I did their customer support at first, and then I
Mm-hmm.
moved on to social media
Nice.
and some of that side of things, and it was really fun. Did some
Yeah.
expos and just seeing how the whole machine worked. I remember getting in and just being so wide-eyed. I was in my early 20s, and we were doing like the Persona 4
Mm-hmm.
fighting game, the EU publishing for it. And I was just losing my mind because I'm a big weeaboo. So
Yeah.
literally just seeing all that stuff, man, it was so cool. So yeah, and literally the change from as it was growing,
Mm-hmm.
we were huddled in some little like hall somewhere in Doncaster in England, and then they started upgrading things, and we were moving to Leicester and getting
Yeah.
bigger offices and doing this and that, and goodness, yeah, I know exactly sort of that feeling, and it's
Yeah.
wonderful. It is
Yeah,
wonderful.
it's freaking amazing to see things that you love and enjoy as, you know, let's say the end consumer and
Yeah,
transitioning into being the person that gets to see how everything works. Like I don't work on development. I also don't work on Gwent in terms of like balance, features, events and stuff like that, but I work on the communication side, so the only influence that I have is maybe passing on, you know, some suggestions and feedbacks, and also seeing what the developers are making, what they're creating, and then trying
yeah,
to, you know, pass it on to people in the community and do it justice in a sense that, you know, to talk about it, kind of put a little bit more light in that direction. So it's super like incredible for me to be able to be able to do that, because it's like a dream come true. Like you, when you go back and you think of yourself being, you know, in your teens and playing games, and then thinking
yep.
about that, you know, I'll grow up, when I'll be older I'll be part of this company, is like, who would have thought about that? Probably you would not, right? Yeah.
Yeah, literally just getting paid to do all of the geeky stuff. I wrote articles for things that I just absolutely loved, and it was, next to, it was like breathing for me. So
Yeah.
that sort of stuff is just, and you get that better sense of how it all works behind the scenes. So you get a better appreciation of it.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, sometimes I get personally really invested, when people they simplify the process behind the whole gaming sphere, whether it's somebody saying something negative about the process or this and that, and you're just there because you've lived it, you've
Yeah.
seen it all, you've seen every face that works behind this, you've talked to everybody, you know exactly. So like I can see that nod. I know like we both got that there.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
also that you know, you kind of look at some comments and kind of what people are saying. You're like, oh, sweet summer child. If you even knew
Yep.
like what's
Yep.
kind of going on here, like you have even no idea.
Yep. BRB, just updating the game real quick.
Yeah, yeah,
Myself, I'll do it. Go ahead.
yeah.
Thank you very much, Gwent Smasher 69. I got this, dude. We're doing it. Let's go.
Oh, Gwen Smasher 69 is such a good
That's
representation
my
of
new
a
handle.
typical
That's my new
gaming.
Twitch handle. You need to change it right now on the bottom. Gwent Smasher 69. That's what we're doing.
Perfect, perfect. So, what initially got you into checking out Gwent? Apart from that, it was free, it was on consoles, and you were playing on consoles at the time. Were you always into card games? Was it kind of a thing for you or not?
I mean, honestly, beyond being like a 10-year-old and messing around with Yu-Gi-Oh, I've never actually been a big card
Mm-hmm.
game guy. I'm not gonna pretend that, I play Magic and, I've Infinity Wars and everything. I've done it all. I literally like I need to find something that keep my attention span because
Mm-hmm.
I'll forget what I ate, 2 minutes ago or
Yeah,
something.
I
But
feel
for
you.
some reason, everything about Gwent just clicked for me. I don't know why. It just the gameplay back when it was 3 rows and everything. But I loved the cards. I fell in love with the cards so much. Like I said, I was an avid Skellige guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, big burly bearded badasses. I
Yeah.
mean, what else can you what else is there to love? You know, I prided myself on for years I'd never touched a Scoia'tael deck in my life. I know you like them.
I like them.
I
I
know.
love them. I love
But
them.
I'm not one for the green people. But then I messed around for Aglace,
Mm-hmm.
and I fell in love. The
Nice.
Aglace memes are just
Yeah, the
wow.
Aglace memes were great. Yeah.
That is perfection. I'm sorry, ST fans. I'm sorry. I get a lot of flack from my chat half the time for being brain dead Skellige man, but you know what? I'll wear that badge with pride. It's just, Hunga Bunga Slam Warrior card.
Yeah.
I mean, I play Olaf Heim, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just something I like, and yeah, the aesthetics, the world, everything about it was super super cool. I've tried some other cards ever since the streaming side of Gwent
Mm-hmm.
things. I've tried Magic. I've tried Runeterra.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if it was because I was a younger kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a lot more time to just chill on the couch
Yeah.
and everything. But trying to get back into that level
Mm-hmm.
again, man, like I haven't been able to push myself that far on a card game
Yeah. Yeah.
to feel confident where I'm like, oh yeah, well, dust my shoulders off,
Yeah.
I'll go
I
make a
got
quick
this.
YouTube video, we got this. I got all the resources. What's up? And it's not like that. I can't do it. I just can't push through that process. Like Hearthstone, man. I tried to
Mm-hmm.
come back to that after years, and I was just like, all right, well, you know what? I'm just gonna go play a freaking Weeaboo game for 5 more hours instead. I'll get further in that. Um, but it's the game that has actually sort of captured me, and I mean, I don't. I'm sorry for giving super praise here. Gwent is still better, but I won't lie. Marvel Snap is pretty addictive, actually. It's just so quick. Like I said, peanut
That's
sized
the point.
brain. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
It-
it's good for the current consumer. The current
yeah.
consumer, card game consumer on a mobile device wants something almost the span of a TikTok session. Like you
Yep.
want to be you want quick gameplay. You want loud pop ups going in your face. You want a lot of stuff to be going on in the game, dailies, card collection progression, stuff like that. You want things to be going on like all the time, and I feel like the game does it pretty well. And I feel like just the aspect of gameplay being done in a sense that you play only 6 rounds across 3 locations, and you're playing cards face down, and they flip at the end of the turn, and you kind of see who played what. And these locations also influence the gameplay and how you play things and how you sequence things. So there's a little bit of depth into it. There's a lot, in my opinion, RNG into it in terms of
Oh,
like
100%.
in terms of like what you will, not only what you will draw into, but also the locations that you get and how they will influence the cards that you have in your hand. But I feel like it's bringing this unique gameplay aspect of being just quick. It's something that you fire up on your phone, couple minutes play through,
Yep.
and you're there, right? So yeah.
That is pretty much it, and I have to go collect my royalty check from Spessy. He paid me to say that, but
Yeah, same here.
no, okay, God, thank God we can get past this segment.
Yeah.
No, but genuinely, it doesn't hold a candle to Gwent, in my opinion, and I'm not saying that because I'm on This Week in Gwent. They're vastly two different games, in my opinion, like in
Yeah,
terms of
totally
gameplay,
different.
pacing, everything. It's actually stupid to compare them.
Yeah.
But
The only thing that is similar is points.
yep. Yes, essentially. The premiums in Gwent are better. The art overall is better. The gameplay is better. But sometimes you just want that cookie clicker level of experience, where you've got, I don't know, 10 minutes to kill or a bus
Yeah.
ride or something like that. And I mean, I could have a 30-minute bus journey. I don't feel like potentially playing, a 25-minute Gwent game sometimes.
Yeah. Plus, you're playing
I would like
ranked.
to say,
You don't want your connection to chop off, and you
that
lose
too, yep.
something. Yeah. But it's like here, it's like 3 to 4 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's an RNG fiesta, but it's fun as hell. And that's all I can say,
Yeah.
But that's the only one that's actually managed to keep my attention. Other than that, everyone, I'm like, I can't justify,
Yeah.
doing 2 years or whatever it's going to take me to get all the cards in Hearthstone or anything like that. So
No.
Gwent's number one. Snap is just when you need to kill 20 minutes.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, for me, I'm kind of tainted a little bit by my youth, which was actually playing Magic in physical
Yeah.
form and paper. So what I try to do here in the office amongst employees is just to do at least once, sometimes maybe we can do it twice a week, to have like a commander sit down where we sit down like 4 players and just play paper Magic Commander, just for the sake of it, for the fun of it. And yeah, it's really cool to have this. We treat it more like a social experience in terms of like sitting
Yeah.
down with fellow colleagues who work maybe on different projects, and
Mm.
just have fun, play something. And Commander is very unpredictable. It's very slow. 1 copy of each card, 100 card deck, so the decks are super thick. So the gameplay, before you ramp up and things happen, it takes a lot of time, but it's just it's fun. So Magic is something that always has been for me kind of the platform. Gwent has been kind of, let's say, my life's work in this case, because I've been with the project since it's like, once it was incepted, let's say. And
Yep.
then, anything else that I try out of just curiosity, because I want to see how we stack up to other things. And now the new thing is Marvel Snap. So, I mean, I felt like, I am obliged to play the game and check it out myself. So yeah, but I've noticed like the strong points of the game and what they do well. So it's worth highlighting, and just to say that it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. On a gameplay perspective, it's fun. There's other things I don't like about it, but I don't want to get into that or anything. But
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool to hear that, because it reminds me of that's we're coming back to the game side, the game development, working at a games company side of things. There's a lot of cool things like that are involved in working in games. Um, I think, like, for me, getting told, hey, you need to write an article on Steins Gate. Why don't it'll give you some hours to watch a couple of the episodes of the anime every so often when you're free. And like hearing that in a work setting,
Yeah.
it's just stuff like that that's the coolest thing. And I did the same, where it was like, I'd meet up with people, and we on our side of things, and we would talk about whatever manga's happening, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just stuff like that, man, that makes that experience cool, because you get so much overlap. Rashid is still trying to get me to play Magic.
Of course
He,
he is.
he literally mill deck this, mill deck that. He wants me to play Magic and Dota 2, but my
Yeah.
heart already belongs to League of Legends. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
a
I
filthy
think
League
I think
player.
people don't transition. It's either Dota or it's League. Like you don't.
Yeah, I was talking about that with my PT, because my PT literally has been playing Dota 2 for years. It's the only thing he plays, and he's like, I tried it. I tried League. I couldn't do it. Um,
I think it's just what you experience first when the first MOBA started like becoming very popular. You were either a Dota person or you were a League person. And if you play Dota, then you probably will stick to it. If you were a League person, you would probably stick to League. And I used to play League, so I kind of know that when I played Dota after League, I was like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, come on, man. You work at CDPR. Obviously, you don't even like League that much. Your main thing was that old Witcher MOBA, right? That
yeah,
happened.
yeah. I
What
actually,
was that thing called? I forgot it.
the Witcher Arena.
Witcher Arena, yeah.
Yeah, it's one that I didn't play. Like I remember joining the company and I didn't even know that there was such a game being produced by CDPR. Like I
I
did not
found
know
it in
about
the
it.
woodwork on YouTube one day. Yeah, I didn't realize it was a thing, man. Like,
Yeah.
wow. I was gonna ask if you were involved, or if you had any idea about that at the
No,
time.
no, no. I remember I joined, and shortly after I joined, there was messaging that we sent out that we're not continuing that project. And I was like, wait, I didn't even get to like check it out.
You were like, Witcher MOBA? What? What?
Yeah,
I
it
wanted to
looked
play
cool.
this.
Yeah, it looked
Yeah,
cool, and
it
it was a
does
mobile
sound really
device.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I literally saw that on YouTube one day. I watched some gameplay, and I was like, you know what? I would actually play that. That looked genuinely fun. But I'll eat up anything Witcher related. You could make a freaking Vesemir dating sim, and I'd jump on that, man. Like, let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Speaking of
Vesemir
not
dating
Rashid, he's pretty much timeouting people for 10 seconds now because he's a mod in my channel. Because
Why have you done that?
I like to live dangerously.
You clearly do. You have Zubidoo and Rashid modded.
Yeah,
And
but
you
I
even
love
have them on
them.
the
They're
show.
awesome. They're awesome.
They are awesome.
Yeah,
They
they're
are
awesome.
awesome.
And I think just people should, know that they're awesome. And I forgot to say, because we don't have notifications here, because this is not my normal streaming PC, this is a work PC. Erden Melora, thank you for the raid, and thank you to Bibo for the raid. So 2 awesome raiders coming in, so thank you so much for that.
I didn't know if I should bring that up either, but yeah, it was good to see. It was good to see the Raiders, and you got a bunch of gift subs from one of my viewers as well.
Yeah,
that was kind of wild. Furnace Whelp gave like 5 or 10 or something.
Yeah, there's I also got a sub to Not Rashid and Zubidoo. Yeah, perfect.
What about the KingDenpai one? Have you got that yet?
Not yet. It's still processing, probably. That hasn't gone through yet.
All right. Well, thank you for the interview. I had a good time.
Well, there you have it, folks. Oh, he's back. Well, that didn't last long.
Next thing you know, you'll get a gift subscription to Sasha Grey or something at this point. I know them. They'll do it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wring with that. I totally respect that she has taken a turn and wants to do something different with her career. Totally respect that.
Well, I think it's great, and I support that in general. You see it a lot and it's a weird topic to some people, but I think it's normalized it's fine to talk about. But a lot of cultures, AV stars or whatever, they do all sorts of other things. Once again, weeaboo, Japan has a history of just treating it like any other thing. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people forget, because she's getting some traction for being in a video game soon. I think is she in Cyberpunk, isn't she? The new.
Yes.
Yeah, she's getting a lot of traction for that. But she was in Saints Row the Third years ago.
Yeah.
Already, she'd already dipped her toes into a lot of VA work and all sorts of other stuff. She's great.
Yeah.
100%.
Totally agreed.
Yeah. And yeah, I think less memeing on that and more appreciating the art.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
And I got to tell you, I love voice acting.
That's man, me subjects. Too. It's such an interesting part of gaming that feels like its own science, it's all like proper breath work. Recording standing and sitting has different kind of how you enunciate things and how it sounds. It's such a it's so cool to. I got to be once in a recording studio and kind of see voice acting behind the scenes, and it's incredible the emotions and the acting that people go through while they're voice acting. It's so visceral, it's so raw, it's so real. Like you said, it's an art that also I feel like needs a little bit more appreciation.
It 100% is. I've always had aspirations to be a voice actor ever since I was younger. I don't mean like an impressionist or anything. I can't jump from Mickey Mouse to Kermit the Frog or anything. But once again, we keep going back to my weebiness. But I did actually listen to a lot of English dubs when I was growing up, and to be a fly on the wall in a session for a Dragon Ball Z recording, just that very idea to hear someone like Sean Schemmel just scream at the top of his lungs and stuff. You hear a random story, like he passed out in the booth once, doing the Super Saiyan 3 scream. Which is
love that.
right. That is so cool. It's that level of dedication, and when you hear that crazy emotion that someone who's trained their life for and everything, that like voice actors, you can always hear the difference between a celebrity dipping their toes into a recording session versus somebody who has been doing this day in and day out.
Yes. You can tell someone's a lifer and it's what they do, and someone who does it instead of does it because they want to dip their toe into.
They got hired for a project.
Yeah, exactly.
They want the name.
Yeah, for me it was Kevin Conroy and it was Mark Hamill, Batman and Joker.
Oh, yes.
That was my introduction into voice acting and kind of seeing behind the scenes a little bit of what the work they do, and there were very cool documentaries and snippets of them doing work in the booth, and Mark Hamill has always been telling the story of him kind of doing his Joker and training it while he was driving his car and people were looking weird at him, and I totally love that they're able to shift and adjust their voice to such an extent that they sound like someone totally different, and they're like the raw emotions and how their voice kind of goes through is just it's I lack words to explain it.
Yeah, like how Kevin Conroy will say, "Oh, I go softer for Bruce. I go, a little bit deeper for Batman."
Exactly.
Would you say that's like your favorite voice actor then, Kevin Conroy? Is he like the top of your list, or
Him
do you
and
have?
Mark Hamill for sure. Like
Yeah,
they're
th-
they're
those
they're
two.
they're high up there. They're high up there. But also when it comes to like Batman animated series, the guy who did the voice for Mr. Freeze, he has passed a couple
Oh,
years ago, but he was such a good Mr.
I mean
Freeze.
that episode, the
Um,
featured episode with him
yeah,
was just
him
yeah.
him just there's this one line where he says of being like stripped of emotion. The way that he is saying it, his voice is so cold, is so calm, yet
Yeah.
it's so you feel like it's carrying so much weight with what he's saying. And you need to be a pro in order to like transform these emotions into voice acting. It's incredible.
It is absolutely incredible. I literally I gained a new appreciation. Just my because I have a lot of voice actors I love, but
Mm-hmm.
recently I did a deep dive from a YouTube series called Dead Meat,
Mm-hmm.
where they cover horror movies and they do little kill counts, but they
Mm-hmm.
also provide a lot of behind the scenes information on the movies. And I have discovered a brand new love for a fellow named Brad Dourif, who does the voice of Chucky
Mm-hmm.
from the Child's
Mm-hmm.
Play
Mm-hmm.
series. And that man has been voicing that character since the late 1980s.
Damn.
He's been doing it, and they were covering bits from when he was doing it on his lonesome. Then they added the Tiffany character,
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Tilly, and they were in the same booth. Like when you see those stories of people working in the same booth or doing a whole cast read, that stuff is so exciting.
Yeah.
When you hear like the ad lib stuff, etc., it's so darn cool, man. And like voice acting is just one of those cool arts that I think
Yeah.
deserves to be appreciated more. It's why I get a little bit like when people pass off, whether English dubs of things,
Mm-hmm.
etc., and they're like, don't give. Like I don't know how people feel about this, but this is my maybe hot take, but Cyberpunk Edge Runners is better in English than it is
Oh.
in JP, in my opinion.
Now
In
I
my
need to watch
opinion,
it in English because I watched it
it's
in
a
JP
wonderful
twice.
performance. Wonderful, wonderful. I think tonally it just fits a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the tunes, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a wonderful job. So,
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Now I need to watch it again. Damn.
oh dude,
Oh,
yeah,
that's good.
it makes another watch. I mean, get ready to get hype and cry. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The emotions at the end of the story were
Oh
like
god.
I was like, oh man. Even though I watched it the second time, I was like, damn. I mean that ending. And I've always like I remember I watched it.
I can't believe that Iron Man came in at the end and
Yeah.
saved
Yeah.
the day,
Yeah.
man. It
Yeah.
was so crazy. The crossover with Marvel, man. It's just wild. That was so cool. I loved it. It was
Just
great.
in
And
time
then
for
when
Marvel
Kermit
Snap.
with two samurai swords, like literally, that was like augmented Kermit the Frog. That was so cool. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great ending.
Exactly.
10 out of 10.
Perfect. 10 out of 10. Exactly. Yeah. So now I need to watch it once again. But I was just gonna say that when I watched it for the first time, I remember going outside and I was like thinking about the ending and thinking about the
Yeah.
whole story for at least a couple hours, and I couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, wow, this is super impactful, but it kind of shows you that Night City is kind of like this relentless place. Like it never gives you time to kind of chillax and like take life as is. There's no
One of my
Netflix and
favorite
chill.
elements of the story is that teamwork element between a couple.
Yeah.
Like I love stories that tackle the theme of love in and of
Mm-hmm.
itself. Any gender doesn't matter, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's more the teamwork behind two people because that's what a relationship is.
Yeah, it is
You know,
teamwork.
and it it doesn't matter how far you want to go with it. Sense8 had a whole a woman with like 5 husbands, etc. Whatever love is, that teamwork element is it. Two, three, four, 5 people, whatever, when you can cover just those people working together and coming together for, some sort of end goal and just being like this whole encompassed person for each other. And, it was the whole thing with David and, him and him working for other people's dreams, etc. But you saw that them trying to make it work.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much, man. I love that so much. It's stories like that with love where
Yeah.
it's that organic.
Yeah.
That's the coolest thing
It's
in the
nice
world to me.
because this aspect is not kind of put there like it's not shoved in your face. It's kind of, it's there for you
Yeah.
to interpret it as you wanted to interpret it, but you can also focus on everything else because like the combat scenes, they're badass, the chase scenes, they're
Yeah.
badass, like all that stuff is really like over the top. And Studio Trigger, like when it comes to animation, everything they do is like very over the top. So that's,
I'm a big mecha fan, so Trigger
yeah,
is my thing, man.
nice.
I literally I build robots like in my spare time,
Nice.
man. So
That's really
that's what I
cool.
rock with.
So you like go like full Gundams and stuff like that also?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice.
My lovely girlfriend got me into a series called Super Robot Wars, which is it currently holds the Guinness World Records for most crossover series is featured.
Oh.
It actually beat Smash Bros. Super
Oh
Robot Wars
wow.
is a fantastic series that takes basically all sorts of wonderful mecha shows or books or anything mecha, brings them together in a big cohesive story that takes all
Nice.
sorts of wonderful elements from all of their respective properties and tries to weave them into this freaking cool crossover adventure, man. You've got Gundams crossing over with each other. You've got like you have 5 different Gundam series and they meet, Voltron and all this stuff and you get dialogue with all the characters and it is the coolest thing in the
Nice.
damn world. My chat, I know they're already like, oh god, he's on the freaking Super Robot Wars thing. I wasn't gonna hesitate to miss a moment to talk about
Yeah.
giant robots.
We
I
have
love them.
Twig the mecha game discussion.
I mean, talk to me about Power Rangers, and that will be a 10, 20 hour discussion, man. That's
Oh
a
really?
different whole
I
kettle
used
of
to I
fish.
used to watch Power Rangers as a kid.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of something called tokusatsu, which is basically like just Japanese live action stuff,
Yeah.
Godzilla, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, all that stuff. Like
Nice.
that's something that's very near and dear to my heart because I grew up with the Power Rangers as a kid, so
Yeah.
I sort of went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And it was mechas and Japanese men in spandex fighting Japanese men in rubber suit monster costumes. That's my thing, you know. That's the Denpai experience right there.
Nice. Nice. You also are into memes like a lot. I know I recently got caught on one of your
Yes.
memes by when you were pointing out why Scooby Doo is being. Well, it was a pasta, right? If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
it was a pasta from somebody who posted on a Twig post that you made where they were like, I don't understand why you continue to focus people who haven't been with the game in ages. They quit the game 500 times, but you don't focus on people who have been living Gwent. They breathe Gwent. I wear Gwent socks at night. I wear Gwent underwear. I literally eat Gwent cereal, and you haven't featured me on this show. What is up with that? And I just reposted it because Zuby's quit
Oh,
the freaking game 500 times already. Not really. He loves this game, but
I know.
he gets inundated with work.
Yeah.
I mean, the real person is me, man. I mean, I haven't touched the game in. I love Gwent. Gwent is great. I play Gwent all the time. No, I'm chilling in rank one. I play every time I can, but I
Yeah.
have had a few breaks. I think it's healthy to do
It
that
is healthy.
sometimes
It is healthy.
because I streamed the game for 2 years, and I did that near enough 6 a.m. every morning without missing a beat. Like an hour after TriNet went live,
Yeah.
I was live streaming the game. There was a period where you couldn't not see me in the morning, and I did that, and I loved it. It was a wonderful experience. Pro rank, the tournament. I don't know if you remember that timing, but I did I may have gotten into top 8 of the Gwent Partners tournament at one point. I'm something of a Gwent guy myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
True.
with nothing but memes.
Good.
That's my claim to glory, man. That's my claim to
That's the
glory.
best way. That's the best way to claim it with memes.
It's all I play half the time. I've taken a little bit of a now that I'm not playing as much. I don't have the sort of drive to keep throwing down Draco Turtle memes, etc. Now I do try and play more meta stuff so I can get a feel for what the game is again.
Yeah.
If I'm away for 2 weeks or something, then yeah, I'll grab a few lists and see what people are playing now, so I understand when I do go back to a meme, how to play against that.
Makes
You
sense.
know,
Yeah.
it's because that was the biggest thing when I was playing memes. Is I knew the matchups like the back of my hand, so I could make particular plays. and it was it's an experience every time you take a small break. You come back and see how you guys have, shifted up things and how people are making this work and that work.
Mm-hmm.
I love so many changes that are made. Obviously, a lot of them are Skellige based for me, but things like the artist's change is one of my favorite things in the game right now. I play
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Self Wound. I play Olaf and Heim. Self Wound
Mm-hmm.
is one of my favorites. There's so many little things that you guys will do that maybe aren't highlighted sometimes by
Mm-hmm.
expansions and new cards, etc. But sometimes when you give old love to older cards and stuff, or
Yeah,
sorry, new love to older cards, that's what really gets me.
I love that
That's what
also.
really gets.
Yeah, it was kind of been our mission for this year, and probably will bleed into next year in terms of like taking things which have a little bit less love, maybe, especially that they maybe kind of fell off the bus after everything we did for midwinter and stuff like that, so or after homecoming, and to kind of go back and give them a little bit more love and kind of get those older archetypes back up to a certain thing that they are now, because yeah, like you said, some of the stuff was happening in the beta, but that's been still a couple years ago compared to what we have in the game now. So I'm also happy about the direction, and hopefully that will just keep on going that way.
Likewise, I want to see a playable Heyme Flaminica. That's my dream. I'm waiting for that level of beast awesomeness, man. I want to see
Yeah,
that cool stuff. But overall, you guys are doing a wonderful job,
thank you.
and it's just I have fun every time I come
Mm-hmm.
back to it. Um, it's never a bad experience, even when I am losing. So
It's great to hear. Great to hear. Good
unless I get
stuff.
beat by Zubidu, then I hate him.
Don't worry, he's taking some time off, but he's bound to return apparently.
I
So
hope not. I
yeah,
really hope not. I hate that guy.
he's in
Please keep
chat.
him away.
He's in
I
chat,
know,
so
unmod him,
he
please.
sees everything. Yeah,
He doesn't need to be a mod. He doesn't need that power.
yeah. I forgot to tell you. Erden Melora gifted me 1 month sub to KingDenpai, so we good.
Oh God.
It came through.
Oh,
Came
oh
through.
God.
That means I have
All right.
all the awesome emotes that you have.
I have two emotes that are basically like Keck W's and everything. It's just my face with it. Chat can. Oh yeah, can somebody get Zuby do a camera? By the way, he's been on here in a phone. He's been on. I see he has a framed picture of himself behind on his wall. It's like the cremarium or something. It's really weird to see. Like, please give this man a new camera and move him into a new room. I love roasting Zuby. Like it's
Oh,
just what
it's
I
so
do.
good, so good.
I think he's like the community roast. It's like a
Kinda is,
barbecue.
kinda is, but
Yeah.
he's a great dude. He's a great,
Oh,
very
dude,
like
one of the
humble
one of the
dude.
nicest kids. Like
Yeah,
honestly, I love that dude so
yeah,
much. Like he always brings a smile to my
and
face.
knowledgeable
Yeah.
when it comes to all
Oh
Gwent
God,
stuff and
yes.
Witcher.
Yeah, the trivia master himself.
Yeah,
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite Gwent streamers and personalities? And I'm gonna take away the easy ones.
mm-hmm.
No super top talents like a Lionhearts or a Thea or anything like that. Give me some that you really you haven't gone to bat for yet. Come on.
Rashid, come on,
Okay, well not him. Anyone but him. Somebody else.
anyone but him. Mm. The pressure. It's hard to
I
pick a
know.
favorite because everybody brings something different to the table, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing.
No, but Rashid is
I
pretty
will
cool.
I will say I will like Rashid. Yeah. Recently Salty Captain. I kind of
Oh
lurked
yeah.
there. I like his stuff. Although he's kind of talented now because he has done some casting in terms of qualifiers and also the playing
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
So that's maybe something that is kind of there. I like Emil. She was here on one of but she's
Oh
from
yeah, Emmy's
Australia, so
lovely.
she's in like different weird time zones when it comes to like watching it for on
Yeah.
my in my time zone. But she brought something very unique in terms of being someone who you would not technically expect to play the game. I know it maybe
Yeah,
sounds
or
weird.
like the beauty guru side of
Yeah, yeah,
things,
yeah,
and
yeah. Like
yeah, yeah.
having her own like beauty company, skincare company, and being into streaming a card game. I was surprised that she found Gwent on her path, and I'm very like thankful that she did because she's a part of the community now. She does awesome content, and I also saw that she's growing very quickly in terms of like getting lots of cool swag. She recently got some stuff from Rode, which was really
Yep.
cool. So like to enhance her setup and kind of do more streaming. So super proud to have her there and part of the team. I mean, Fiola also I really
Oh
like,
yeah.
maybe not Gwent related, but I liked Brett and Lucy from the Witcher Pod. They do amazing work, and I love their podcast. I was just listening. I think this week I was at the gym. I was listening to her and Brett's take on the whole announcement that we had as CDPR in terms of the projects which we're working on and kind of
Oh
the code
yeah, yeah.
names for the project. So it was really cool to kind of get, knowing what I know, like seeing their take on it is always very interesting. So yeah, I love I
That
love
is
that.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's
It's
a little
really
bit
cool.
of a little bit of different streamers and different content and kind of pulling from different places and kind of seeing stuff. I like Feldy also. He's very like
Oh,
chill.
Feldy is
Yeah,
wonderful.
and he's also such a kind, great soul. Like he's
Yeah.
he's a mod amongst a lot of our streamers, Gwen streamers, and he's kind of like known to help people out and fix things on the go. And he's just amazing. KG Hearts and Wine. I mean, also
Yep.
amazing dude. His content's great. So
Love
there's a
KG.
lot there's a lot of people to kind of name here.
The community is so vast and varied, and it's lovely to, like, one of the biggest thing you focused on podcasts there for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's really important for us as Gwent community members to sort of remember that there's a lot going on in our sphere. When you're watching This Week in Gwent, you highlight some of that, and that's wonderful. There are teams out there that are making fantastic articles. There are people making podcasts.
Exactly.
There's like some of my favorite people in the sphere are from Team Creve, TLG, Bandit Gang, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Like that side of things, there are people doing so much for the game, making freaking 50K word articles on
Yeah.
this subject, from pro players to doing interview series. They interviewed Doug, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Doc
The Witcher
Cockle. Yeah,
podcast
yeah,
chief.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And there's just so much to sort of absorb from that side of things, man. It's so freaking cool. To come back to sort of the community side of things, what's one person from the olden days of streaming that maybe we haven't seen in a while that you maybe like to see return to the game? Not saying that your word is going to bring them back. Just chill out,
yeah.
chat. Trinet's not coming back or something like that. But if you'd like to see, McBain or anything like that return to the to
It's
well,
hard because I would kind of want a little bit of the old guard. I would like Mogwai McBeard and
oh yeah.
and Merchant probably. I loved Merchant and his streams and
Said
kind of.
McBain, yeah, Zuby, I'm sorry. Beard. I'm Mick nervous, so get Mick off my back. I'm Mick loving it.
Yeah, JJ Pasak, like a big loss to the community. Also,
Yeah.
I feel like someone has not been able to fill that big void that he left after leaving Gwent and being banned from
I
it.
think Rashid kind of fills that pretty
Nah,
well.
Rashid's inside is a good and warm person. Pasak was not.
That is not something I expected to hear today.
Yep.
That
Yep.
is, I, I always do compare Rashid to him, but honestly, yeah, I think for that level of what he was, there is a big void for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
So if
probably
anyone
for the
wants to take
best.
up the mantle, go
Uh,
ahead.
uh,
I'm kidding.
do not
Please
highly
don't.
encourage people to do that. But yeah, I think the people here watching are not gonna be taking up that mantle anytime
No,
soon.
no, I don't think anyone wants that in any capacity.
Yeah, true that. True that. I mean, yeah, but Bane, I think mentioned JJ Pasak kind of being like a loss for this community as a meme, of course. As a meme, of course.
As a meme, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
as a meme. Well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Because there's
Someone.
a lot of wonderful people in our community
Yeah.
that I think
People also like mention Spyro. I feel like Spyro has also done a lot of good for the game, and when it comes to like his streams, I know he may have some opinions which are maybe viewed as being maybe a little bit over the top, or him kind of being tilted or mad and stuff like that. But I feel like it all comes from a good place, and he is kind of and been with us for quite some time playing the game and streaming it, like, back to back and creating content for it. So could not say anything bad about him or anything that.
I like to view Spyro as like a chain smoking dad that's been working at a job for like 30 years. And he knows what he has to do. He sits down and gets it done. And
Yeah.
everyone there is just like, hey, they're all bubbly and they've got all these words and opinions and it's like a new guy at work and he's just there like, I'm just playing cards, man. I gotta get through this. I gotta do this. This is what I need to do. All right, we're done. But
This is my
yeah, he
work.
has been around.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while, and that's it's. I think for me, it's literally just there's a lot of people who are still at the game, sort of come back for that Twitter thing where people are like, notice me, but there is a lot of people who have been with this thing for years on years on years,
True.
and I think it is important to let them know that they are loved and
Yeah.
they're appreciated. Just because
Exactly.
maybe they aren't mentioned sometimes or something like that, it's not that they aren't noticed. People
Yeah.
are watching, people are listening, people are commenting, etc. So
Exactly.
it's good to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I fully appreciate everyone who has put in the work and is with us and has been with us for quite some time. So, I mean, that work is always seen and appreciated by us as to the project. And like, we see you and we fully appreciate it. We might not always talk about it. We might not always say it, but it is something that we do. And if you ever reach out to us and need anything or need any support or want to talk, like, we're also here to pretty much be there for you. So easy.
I asked you for some help and you just like called me a nerf herder and left me on red after. Like it was really weird. I was like, dude, I need some advice about the game and you just blew me off.
Yeah,
So I
right.
don't know what
Yeah,
happened there.
right. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Someone might actually believe you. But you love beaming, right? You love it.
Dude,
Where
gaming is my favorite
did
thing
you
in the
remember
world.
where it kind of came from? This is like an origin story to it or not?
Yeah, for the longest time, I always dicked around and made my own decks. So I'm not good nowadays anymore as I used to be when I knew the game a lot more, but I would just always make just whatever I could fit together sometimes. I haven't been the innovator of anything, but I've always tried to take chances on random cards that I liked, Heim, etc., that sort of stuff. If there was just something interesting, I didn't care if people weren't playing it. I just said, fuck it, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I like it, so I'm gonna try it. So I've had streams where we've dedicated like hours on hours to making one particular. I made a syndicate pirate deck once, which is not. I literally. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience. It was terrible. So much MMR was lost. But I said, you know what? I'm playing Syndicate Pirates today. So that's your next focus, all right? That's what you need to get living because I'm trying to make it work. You got the tag, man.
Yeah.
Tide Cloak Hideaways exists.
Yeah. Go for it. Check them out.
Yeah. Oh, is it Hideaways? Because
Yeah.
is that the one? Yeah, it is. It is mixed, isn't it? If I remember correctly, because I liked the Hideaways because it was the. I was like, oh, I can maybe get because Hideaways is one of my favorite cards for pirate decks in SK because the tempo you get off of that, like it's 5 power, and then if you have a handful of pirates, turn 1, you can go up to 16 right away
Yeah.
if you have like Jin
Yeah.
or something like that, man.
Yeah.
It's so good. One of my favorite cards. So yeah, it's more that when I played the game and I was starting, I just liked specific cards and I tried to make them work. And then I said to myself, okay, well, I'm facing this meta deck 500 times. Can I make a meme that might be able to actually to do something here?
Yeah.
It's sort of like nowadays when you see people posting, cool decks on YouTube, Docent Casual Gamer, Dika Gwent, KG, they're like, here's a SK Witcher's deck, or, here's this, here's that, it's stuff like that. That's what I like. Memes are just my favorite thing in Gwent, I know I'm rambling, but my favorite thing in Gwent is to just encounter somebody who has a whole homebrew deck
Yeah.
that they put their heart into. You don't know
Yeah.
what they're gonna
Yeah,
play.
you don't see that often, do you?
Yeah,
Because
and
normally
that's the
it's
coolest thing when
just
you
stuff
see
that
that
people
card that
download.
you're like, I love that. You
Yeah.
know, I've had people message me and go, dude, you were playing Heim. That's amazing. You know, like stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
feel the same way when I'm playing against somebody. They drop an artist. I'm like, bro, if you win, I'm happy. Like
Respect. Oh no.
simple as.
Okay, you
There we
just
go.
froze for me a
I
little bit.
froze for a second
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah, I froze for a second.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm lagging a little bit.
Nah, you're good now.
All right, cool
I
beans.
think we're stable.
All right, we're back. We're back in
Yeah,
action.
we're back in action. Yeah, I totally agree. If someone brings something innovative and different, or kind of just even tinkers some of the cards and brings a new kind of play style to a deck, that's always like good to see. It's always good to see.
My claim to fame was the Gwent Partners tournament. Jaggeris and Spiro casted my top 8 game, and I have clips saved on my channel where Spiro says something to the lines of, Denpai doesn't know the meta, I don't think, because he saw all my decks, and I was like, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that,
Nice,
man.
nice.
That's it.
You're just
That's
doing
right
your
there.
own thing, and that's actually
Which,
sometimes that's actually good because people do
yeah,
not expect that coming. They do not see that coming, and
even
that's the
in an
element of
open deck
surprise.
list, man, you can surprise. That's
Yeah,
the best part. I literally, Trinet was looking at all the decks for that tournament. He got to me and he was literally like, what is this? What is happening? This is amazing. What are these decks this man is playing? How did he get here?
yeah,
And it's stuff like that that makes it worth it, dude.
yeah.
Like that's what I love.
It brings a different perspective to the game also, and also a different way to play the game, which is always something that enhances the the gameplay of the game itself. So it just makes it better. I totally agree.
Yep, 100%. What's your favorite meme in Gwent? What's the one you like the most?
I would say Keltulis, although I don't know if Keltulis is a meme.
Depends how you play, Kelly.
Yeah,
But all right, all
yeah.
right.
Although, like, I mean, Mill, I feel like is not maybe a meme. I think it's a thing.
Say again?
Mill,
Mill is definitely a meme.
yeah, yeah, but it's a meme and a thing. I feel like,
It's one of the most demoralizing memes to be affected by.
yeah,
And that's my favorite part of it. Like I watched Trinet, we keep going back to Trinet, but Trinet used to do some tournaments I think it was every week or something, or every month. And Rashid was in them quite a few times, and he played some mill decks. And it was one of my favorite things to watch, man. He would go. He would get to like semifinals or something. And it was with all of his cool innovative decks, and I love that. That stuff
yeah.
is the best. And I mean, I'm not gonna say I advocate for playing mill, but I'll certainly say watching it is an experience.
Yeah, and also Rat Clog is one of those weird
Oh,
ones.
I love Rat Clock. Please give me 3 charges back on the Death Wish. Let me proc it all in one go, sir. I love Rat Clock. It's the best.
It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one.
It's so great. It's so dumb. It's so lovely, dude.
Yeah, someone
I've
always
won a
mentions
few
Rat Clog.
games. It's just wonderful. I'm sorry, Lionheart. I know he hates it with a passion, but it's just perfect meme.
Yeah, I have the same thing with Kelly. I don't like Kelly. If it beats me up, I'm like, this feels.
But
so
if you're
bad.
playing Kelly, you're like, hey, this is cool.
Yeah, if you're playing Kelly and it's popping off, to quote Spessy, it's good.
Popping off.
Yeah.
I think you mean snapping off, sir.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that has adjusted by time.
I'm gonna get sued by Spessy now.
Nah, he's fine. He's great. He knows
Yeah,
how to have a laugh.
Oh yeah, that's what I love about Spessy. Really, is he knows how to laugh at himself, which is really good. He's got he's got the whole popping off, bro, of that English lad culture. I live in England, so
Yeah.
they're very they know how to laugh at themselves quite
Yeah.
a bit, which is nice.
Which is good.
So
Yeah, a lot of
I
good, like
definitely
Monty Python, a lot of good comedy came out of the UK, and I think they
a lot of
know how to.
self-deprecating
Yeah,
humor
lots
with
of
them.
exactly deprecating human.
Yep,
Exactly.
definitely that. And Monty Python is just classic.
Yeah.
What's your favorite sort of comedies?
Favorite
I
comedy.
told you I'm gonna ask you questions, man. I want to know more about you. Forget
Yeah.
me, dude.
Damn. I
I'm
don't
like a-
know what's like my favorite comedy. I've watched so many through the years, but recently, to be honest, recently something that I really enjoyed was Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yes,
But that's kind of like the recent
absolutely.
ones. Yeah. I had a lot
Yeah.
of fun with that show.
Yeah, really, really good that one. I've seen mine is like Parks and Rec. I really like Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's
That's really
one
good.
actually that I didn't watch that much, to be honest.
Oh, well, you definitely should
Yeah,
because I
I
mean
heard.
Ron Swanson is an experience to behold. That is it's probably one of my favorite characters in television I've ever seen.
Oh,
He's
nice.
he's yeah, it's just I can't even describe the man. Definitely give Parks and Rec a shot.
Okay.
Definitely give Parks and Rec a shot. It'll make you want to grow a big caterpillar mustache. Like you'll shave the whole bottom part off,
You
man,
just
and you're
leave
gonna be
this.
like a you'll be a
You'll just leave.
'90s cop, you know? Like you're gonna hit the streets and everything, man, doing detective work.
Yeah,
That's gonna be you, dude.
Starsky and Hutch style.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
respect, respect.
Respect.
All right, we've
Respect.
been over an hour. Do you have any more questions for me, or can we start wrapping up slowly?
I mean, I don't have any. I mean, I could talk to you for hours and ask you a bunch of
Same. Like
questions.
this is such a good back and forth. Like
It's
I know this sounds bad, but I'm kind of thankful that Vlad couldn't make it. I'm not thankful that he's sick, but I'm thankful that he didn't make it so we could just chat because this has been such a wonderful like chat. Like just
I mean,
down to
like I
earth,
said, man, I
chill.
wanted to
We
prepare
went
so
through
much more.
everything, like all
Yeah.
spectrums.
Did we even talk about Gwent though? What is Gwent? I don't even
Yeah.
know that game, bro. But no, yeah, like I said, like when I got I told myself if I was ever on here, I would have, I wanted to prepare a lot more to ask you, because
We can do another
for
episode easily.
I would happily do that
Yeah.
for all the featuring that you do for everybody in the community and stuff like that. You know, I'm more than happy to be on here, but I'm a guy who hasn't really been around the community in a while, so really I'd like to get people to know more about you and stuff like that, because you are, you know, you and the whole team make this happen for us.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to appreciate there, and I don't think that necessarily is always taken when people might be interviewed or featured sometimes. I think it's important to ask you and hear back from you. Like I don't know. I just dude, I
Not
could talk to you for
everybody
hours about.
like
I
a
want to
lot of
hear more
people are
about cycling.
nervous. They don't always think about like they're more focused on actually being prepared and ready for questions that might go their way and
Yeah,
answer those instead of like thinking of questions on the go or to kind of go back. Like I've seen like Rashid came prepared, like he came with a list of demands and
he's not prepared.
yeah, it is.
I mean, I think he held you hostage.
No, but it was a nice
Ah,
conversation, and we kind of we talked about things that he thought were cool for the game, and maybe also asked me what we think about different things that the community is talking about, and taking the community perspective and bouncing it off me and asking the questions. Like some people are afraid to ask these questions and kind of the hard hitting questions, but he was there to kind of do it. So respect on that.
I mean, that's his big thing, is that he prides himself on being that sort of level of, like, you know, just direct and unfiltered and stuff like that. And I think people might get too nervous in a community sense when it comes to being featured on something like this. You know, like they might not think they can be more of themselves here. Which, you know, I mean, as long as you're not doing anything ridiculously uncalled for, you're pretty cool to shoot the shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we can just talk.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I want to know more about your cycling side of things. I want to joke and introduce you to more memes. I mean, my question is, can you ask Kerp to unban me? Unblock me? He's blocked me in our TLG team chat on Discord.
Really?
I don't know why. He had a shirtless picture of himself, like on vacation, and I took a screenshot of his belly because it looked like a face, and then I
That's
posted
cute.
it. Yeah, I thought it was cute. It was like
Like
a
he
cute
felt
little monster
offended.
face on his tummy, and now he's blocked me. I
Felt
don't even know
offended.
why. Can you
Kerpetten?
ask him? Can you like send him a DM and say, can you block me?
It's Kerpetten?
Yeah, Kerp. Yeah, Kerp.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll ask him during World Masters.
you.
On the stream, I'll be like, hey, by the way, why did you
Yeah,
block
exactly.
KingDenpai on the
Thank you.
TLG Discord?
Exactly, man. Go to bat for me, because I mean, it's just a tummy pick. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's
Thank you, man.
nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
all my teammates right now are like, God damn it, he did it. He actually
yeah.
did it.
Nice.
I mean,
Respect.
I was so worried in the sense of my community just gonna completely start caps locking. Take your shirt off, because that's kind of what I'm known for, the shirtless gamer moments.
Nice,
You know,
nice. Yeah, I think
that's
it's bled through the community. I know that they also make that meme with Zubidu and stuff like that. Like when he was
oh
on
yeah.
recently, they were like, "Why does he have his shirt on?" and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's the I mean, literally my channel reward is take my shirt off for a game. I can't escape it. Jaggerus saw me in the top 8 and is like, "Oh my god, Denpai has no shirt on. Why is this?" So it's yeah, it
Oh,
is. Other than having a little bit of laugh, I don't have any major questions, but I would definitely love to talk to you again,
let's do it.
because there's, I follow you on Instagram, social, etc. There's a lot of things that seem really interesting and cool about you that I'd love to know more about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the next thing about cycling, but I had a
Yeah,
few friends that love cycling to bits. I have a friend who bought a 1,000 quid bike, and it is the most
nice.
ridiculously tuned thing out ever. And I
Yeah.
looked at it, and it was so thin and lightweight. And I was like, bro, I'm gonna crush
Mm.
that in two if I get on that.
Yeah.
But it's cool that you can ride that. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot to unpack there that, yeah, I'd definitely love to talk to you more about.
Awesome. Awesome. Then for sure we're doing a part 2 easily. Oh
I'm
wait.
not. I'm just taking my jacket off. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna get you banned for
No.
Twitch.
Yeah, because people are like, "Oh no, oh no, here we
No, no,
go."
I'm just taking my jacket off. Don't. I'm teasing them.
You
You
know,
know.
you know, you know how to do it well.
You gotta make them want it. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe part two. Maybe part two
Maybe
we'll do
part
the
2.
dual shirtless one.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
both of us there.
Fully exposed.
Let's. Part 2, you're in the office again. People walk in to try and ask you a question. They're like, "I'll leave you alone. Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
never mind. You're busy right now."
Yeah, yeah. Perfect.
But yeah, no, thank you. That's all I can say. Is a big, massive thank you for spotlighting me, because I love this game. I love the community. It really means a lot to me. So it's been nice to get to know more about you and to highlight the community in a very positive sense. Have a laugh, have a meme, and yeah,
Yeah.
all I can say is a massive thank you, man. Seriously,
Thank you,
from the
man.
bottom of
Thank
my
you.
heart.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and yeah, thank you for all the kind words. Not only about Gwen, but also about like the work that we do as developers and me, and yeah, much love back, straight back. I don't know if I can. Yeah, I can kind of do it. Yeah.
That I mean, it's a lot bigger than my chubby hand one.
Yeah.
I've got like a, I don't know what this is, maybe like a rectangle at this point. But yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
man. Just that's
Also,
all I can say. And yeah, everyone's saying thank you.
yeah. And also thank you everybody for watching. And yeah, of course, we will be back next week for more Twig. No, we won't be back. Wait.
Oh,
Good.
nope,
We won't
nope.
be. I'm going to Lucca Comic and Games. So if anyone watching is going to Lucca for the festival for comics and games, we will be there as CDPR celebrating 20 years of the studio. We will have a cool spot there. There will be some Gwent related stuff there too. So if you're there, totally drop by. So 1 week I'm off, but after that, first week of November, I am back once again.
And that's the one with the Zubidu and Rashid at the same time, right?
No.
That's the one you're doing?
No, I have someone else lined up for that one.
That's too powerful. Too powerful. Too chaotic.
No, think of what would happen if those two fused into
Oh
into
my
one
god.
thing. Like
Fusion
I
dance
don't
with
yeah,
them.
yeah, like whoop.
That's literally
nobody's
I don't know. I
nobody's
don't know,
ready
man.
for
That's
that.
too
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
I think the world would end. That's
Yeah.
that's just way too much.
probably true. All right, man.
yeah, thanks for
Awesome.
having me.
Thank you for the chat, and yeah, catch everybody next week. Bye bye.
Jazz hands.